Okay, my dear sons and daughters staying at home, you can make a follow-up to the last scene in The Taming of the Shrew written by William Shakespeare. This is the last scene, so pay attention to everything I'm going to say. Then, it is the sun, because Petruchio and Katharine, they were on their way to Baptista's house in Padua. Let's see together what happened during their journey from Verona to Padua. Then it is the sun, replied Katharine, but it is not the sun when you say it is not. Whatever you wish to call it, what is what? That is what it is. And what is always will be for Katharine. Because the situation was Petruchio praised the shining moon during midday, and he tried to convince her that they were at night, because he wanted to make sure that she would obey him in everything without asking any questions. Yes. Now he allowed her to continue on her journey, but in order to see if this obedience would last, and the line last with me, it means continue. He spoke to an old gentleman. They met on the road as if he were a young woman. Yes, Petruchio spoke to an old man as if he was a young, beautiful lady. And he wanted her to make the same because he wanted to become completely sure that she became obedient before reaching her father's house in Padua. Saying to him, "Good day, gentle lady," he asked Katharine if she had ever seen a fairer, underline fairer with me, yes, more beautiful women, praising the red and the white of the old man's cheeks, and comparing his eyes to two bright stars. He compared the cheeks of the man to bright stars. He spoke to him again, saying, "Fair, lovely lady," you can underline with me because it can be a good comment. "Fair, lovely lady, once more a good day to you," and said to his wife, "Sweet Kate, take her in your arms. She's so beautiful." So he asked his wife Katharine to hug the old man as if he was a young, beautiful lady. Katharine, by now completely tamed, quickly made her speech in the same manner. Yes, manner means way, to the old gentleman, saying to him, you can also underline with me, it can be a good comment too. "Young lady, you are fair and fresh and sweet. Where are you going and where is your home? The parents of so fair a child must be very happy." These words were said by Katharine to the old man, and his name was Vincentio. Yes. We have a question on this slide. How did Petruchio make sure that Katharine became obedient? He made two things. He praised the shining moon during midday, and he made her do the same. He addressed an old man as if he was a young, beautiful lady, and she did the same. So he tested her obedience through this situation. "Yes, why, Kate, what is this?" said Petruchio. "I hope you are not mad. This is a man, old and blind, and not a young lady, as you say he is." Let's move to the next slide. As this Catherine said, "Forgive me, old gentleman. The sun has blinded my eyes." So Catherine apologized to the old man, saying that the sun blinded her eyes. She could not see well. She offered her apology to him. "Now I can see that you are truly a respected father. I hope you will forgive me for my sad mistake." "Do good, old man," said Petruchio, "and tell us which way you are traveling. Underline with me the comment. Number 2. We shall be glad to have your company. If you are going our way, we shall be glad to have your company if you are going our way. This was said by Petruchio to the old man. His name was Vincentio, on their way from Verona to Padua. Yes, the old gentleman, much shocked at the manner, the behavior in which these two had spoken to him, replied, "My name is Vincentio, and I'm going to visit a son of mine who lives in Padua." And the son of his who lives in Padua, his name was Lucentio. And he was going to marry Bianca, the younger sister, for Katharine. Then Petruchio knew that the old gentleman was the father of Lucentio, a young man who was going to be married to Baptista's younger daughter Bianca. He made Vincentio very happy by telling him of the rich marriage his son was about to. His son was about to make. And they all traveled. They were 3 people, Petruchio, Katharine, and Vincentio. They all traveled on a pleasantly together, happily together, until they came to Baptista's house. Here a large company was present for the marriage of Bianca and Lucentio. Since Baptista had happily agreed to it after Katharine was married. When they entered, Baptista welcomed them to the celebrations. So Baptista, Catharine's father, welcomed Petruchio and welcomed Vincentio, and for sure welcomed his daughter. There was another newly married pair at the ceremony, Lucentio, Bianca's husband, and Hortensio, the other newly married man, could not stop themselves from making fun of Petruchio's shrewish wife. So all the company began to ridicule him because he got the weirdest shrew in the whole world. These men seemed very pleased, very happy with the gentle nature of the ladies they had chosen, and laughed at Petruchio for his less fortunate choice. Unlucky choice. Petruchio took little notice. It means he didn't pay attention to what they were saying about him, because he was very confident that his wife has become the most obedient wife in Padua, the most obedient wife even in Italy. Petruchio took little notice of their amusement until the ladies had left the room. Yes, after dinner. And then he saw that Baptista himself had joined the laughter against him. Even the father ridiculed Petruchio. When Petruchio announced that his wife would prove more obedient than others, Catharine's father said, underline with me, the comment which is written before you on the screen. Now in all sadness, son Petruchio, I fear you have got the worst shrew of all. So these words were said by Baptista, Catharine's father, to Petruchio because he knew that his daughter was very shrew and that her husband would suffer greatly under her hands. Yes, let's move to the next slide. Well, said Petruchio, I say I have not so, to prove that I speak the truth. Let us each one send for his wife. This is the beginning of the question, which is before you, number 4. What was the bet? Who won it and why? So Petruchio wanted the bet, and he was completely sure that he would win it. So what was the bet? Who won it? And why did he win it? This is the beginning of the answer. Let us each one send for his wife, because till now we have three wives and three husbands. Hortensia's wife, Lucentia's wife Bianca, and Katharine, Petruchio's wife. Three gentlemen and three ladies. And he whose wife is most obedient and comes most quickly when is sent for shall win a bet, which we will agree on. So it means the three gentlemen was set together, and they send the servant to each wife that her husband needs her engine to come to him soon. The husband whose wife comes the most quickly, her husband would win the bet. The other two husbands were quite ready to do this, for they were sure that their gentle wives would prove more obedient than the difficult Katharine. They suggested a bet of 20 crowns. Yes, and the crowns was the currency of Italy at that time. But Petruchio refused this sum of money. But Petruchio said that he would bet as much as that on one of his dogs, and 20 times as much on his wife. Lucentia and Hortensio increased the bet to be 100 crowns, and Lucentio sent his servant to ask Bianca to come to him. So the servant went to Bianca first. Let's see together what was her reply when the servant asked her to come soon to her husband. Soon the servant returned and said, "Sir, my lady sent you word that she is busy and cannot come." Yes, so that was Bianca's reply to the servant. She was busy and she cannot come. "Wait," said Petruchio. "Does she say that she's busy and she cannot come? Is that an answer for a wife?" He began to ridicule them, to make fun of them, because Hortensio was the first one who lost the win. Yes, let's carry on. Then they laughed at him and said he would be lucky if Katharine did not send a worse answer. Now it was Hortensio's turn to send for his wife, and he said to his servant, "Go and beg my wife to come to me." "Oh, beg her," said Petruchio. "Then she must come." "I am afraid, sir," said Hortensio, "your wife will not even come if you beg her to do so." But soon this loving husband looked a little unhappy when the servant returned without his wife. It was an embarrassing situation. He was completely sure that he would win, but he lost 100%. "Sir," she said the servant, "my lady says that you are only having fun, so she will not come. You can go to her instead." So Hortensio's wife replied that she would not come, and if her husband wanted her, he would go to her. "Where's and where?" said Petruchio. Then he sent his servant, saying, "Go to my wife and tell her that I command her to come. I order her to come." The company had hardly had time to think that she would not obey this order, when Baptista said in surprise, "By heavens, here comes Katharine." So Katharine came very quickly. When the servant went to her and ordered her to go to her husband, she did not hesitate. She went to him in a split second. She entered, saying quietly to Petruchio, "What is your wish, sir? Why have you sent for me?" We have a question number 5. Why did Katharine surprise everyone? Because she became very quickly to her husband when he asked her, when he ordered her to come. Yes, let's carry on. "Where are your sister and Hortensia's wife?" he asked. So Petruchio asked his wife to go to bring the other two wives, Hortensia's wife and Lucentia's wife. "Where are your sister and Hortensia's wife?" he asked. "They are talking by the sitting room fire," Katharine replied. Let's move to the next slide. Very good. Go bring them here, said Petruchio. Katharine went away without answering to perform her husband's command. This is the most, this is the most surprising thing, said Lucentio. And so it is, said Hortensio. I cannot imagine what it means. Yes, here we have a comment. It means peace, said Petruchio, and love, and a quiet life, and that I am the master, and in short, everything that is sweet and happy. So these words were said by Petruchio too. Lucentio, Hortensio, and Baptista, Catherine's wife, because he won the bet. And they asked him, what did it mean that he won the bet? He replied, saying these words I have just read with you. It means peace, love, and a quiet life, and that I am the master, and in short, shortly, everything that is sweet and happy. Catherine's father was filled with joy to see that change in his daughter. Even the father himself was very surprised because of the change happened to his daughter Katharine, and said, now, my fortune go with you. So Petruchio, you have won the bet, and will add another 20,000 crowns to what I gave her before, as if she were another, as if she were another daughter, because she is so changed. Yes, she refers to whom? Very good. Someone said it refers to Katharine. Good. So is changed. That I hardly know. I difficultly know her. Now said Petruchio, I will win the bet even more surely, and show more signs of her new goodness and obedience. Katharine now entered with the two ladies, and he continued, see how she brings the wives who disobey you as the prisoners to their womanly persuasion. Katharine said, that cap of yours does not suit you, take it off and throw it on the floor. So he wanted to prove to them again that his wife has become the most obedient wife in Padua. He ordered her to take out the cap she was wearing and to throw it into the air. She did as her husband ordered her to do. Lord, said Hortensia's wife, I hope I may never be made to do anything so silly. And Bianca said, what foolish duty do you call this? At this, Bianca's husband said to her, I wish your duty were as foolish too. The wisdom of your duty, fair Bianca, has cost me 100 crowns since dinner time. Yes. Then you are foolish too, said Bianca, for betting on my duty. Katharine, said Petruchio, tell these women what duty they owe their lords and husbands. Then to the surprise of all those present, Katharine spoke of the importance of obeying your husband. So Katharine gave them a lecture on obeying the husbands, and she told them the husband of a woman is her master. Yes. Then to the surprise of all those present, Katharine spoke of the importance of obeying her husband, and Katharine once more became. This is the beginning of the answer of the last question, which is question number 7 on the screen. How did Katharine become famous again? Yeah, more became famous in Padua, not as before, as Katharine the Shrew, but as Katharine, the most obedient wife in Padua. So Katharine has become famous again. She was famous at the beginning because she was a shrew, a lady with such uncontrollable temper, with an angry tongue. She became famous again, but not as a shrew, as a most obedient wife in Padua. Okay, my dear little brother and sister staying at home, this was the last scene in The Taming of the Shrew, written by William Shakespeare. And I want to remind you it is a comic play. Yes. I covered with you the most important comments and the questions, and I read with you every word, and I helped you a lot. Wait for the revision sessions, and that will be very soon with my best wishes to you. Goodbye.